if you want everything to shake, you're gonna need a subwoofer.
Like a dog. Woof!
Yeah, like a dog, I guess.
Is JBL portraying women as airheads? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey folks, I'm Gene Delasella with Audioholics. So I was going to do a video on this awesome tour that we went on last week when JBL invited us to check out their new AV receivers and Stage 2 speakers. But then I ran across their promotional ad and it was jarring, to say the least. And I want to bring on my good friend Emiko and get her perspective as well, because Emiko is someone that's really into audio. She's got her own channel, the HiFi Girl. She runs a trade show called The Show, and you're a huge proponent of vinyl records, are you not, Emiko?
Absolutely. I've got 2 turntables there and there. Well, there and there.
And you see, that's awesome. When you, my whole point of wanting Audioholics to expand and the industry to expand is we don't want to just target one narrow demographic of people my age, you know, men my age. We want to have everybody to enjoy the audio and visual experience, but we don't want people to be talked down to, right? I mean, that's a big problem. So Emiko, I want to give these guys a longer clip of this ad so they know what we're talking about, so it doesn't just sound like we're on a soapbox and we're just preaching. So I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna subject you to about 1 minute and 20 seconds of this JBL ad.
Oh, hi. Grease said you'd be stopping by. So you're into like good sound and whatever? Awesome. So this is the new JBL setup. Speakers are JBL, receivers JBL. It's JBL all the way down the line. So you know it all works together. And JBL is like really old. Been around for like 78 years. So that's cool. That box thing there, that's the MA receiver. And the towers are the speakers. We call them, wait, what do we call them?
Pillars of sound.
I don't know what the MA stands for. But yeah, it looks really nice. We did.
All right, I think you guys get the point. Emiko, give us your reaction to that video.
Ah!
Pillars of sound.
Can that be my reaction? I was really saddened by it, to be honest, Gene. I was really disappointed and quite sad. I was also perplexed and I toggled the line between, is this a spoof or is this really truly an advertisement for younger people? And I kept watching it, killing my brain cells, watching it over and over and over again. And I decided that it wasn't a spoof for a couple of reasons. One is that it was sent out as part of a media package, a release to the actual press, to the legitimate press. And so that already indicates that it's not a spoof. It's meant to be part of the marketing. I also watched, there was this opening speech from the night that they unveiled everything that David Tovisi gave, and he's up on stage welcoming everybody, and he says, we talk to young people and they want things that are more simple and more sleek and more modern, and we listened and we're going to give it to you. And I just thought to myself, yes, but they didn't in that conversation ask to be portrayed as idiots. And I was saddened because this isn't how young people are. This isn't how young music lovers are. This isn't how young people in audio are. This isn't how young people in design or
professionals.
And the way that I know this is twofold. One is that every night right now, there's a young woman who goes up on stage and rakes in billions of dollars selling out arenas by the name of Taylor Swift. And love her or hate her, what she does not do is talk down to young women. Mm-hmm. And she talks to them and she relates with them. But she doesn't make caricatures or cartoons out of them. She doesn't depict them and bring to life negative stereotypes that we've all been trying to overcome and undo and prove to be untrue in this space. And so I was really disappointed.
Yeah, and when I first saw the video, I was like, maybe I'm overreacting. So I've got 3 women in the house. I have my wife, my 2 daughters. Bertha was not impressed by the video at all. She thought it was extremely cringe. I'm like, okay, so we're old, right? We're in our 40s and 50s. Let me get a young perspective. I checked with my 24-year-old daughter, which this ad allegedly targets, right? It targets 20 to 30-year-old women. I had her watch it. First of all, she couldn't get through the whole thing. She said this was like the most ridiculous thing. She thought it was a parody. She goes, no, none of my friends talk like that. And she goes, it was just so poorly orchestrated. Like it would go from this, like what's it called when they do that? It was on Louder Milk.
Oh, vocal fry.
Yeah, they go through this vocal fry. Then all of a sudden they just pop up, like they try to drop you some information on the product with some panning, right? And and like you notice this as well. The woman's voice changes from this vocal fry to a more serious tone.
Yeah.
And that serious tone probably would have drawn more people in because she would have been talking in her real voice. It would have come off as more authentic.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed, Gene, was that this video featured only women.
Right.
And so my question to JBL then became, well, are you targeting younger women only? Are you trying to speak to women to get them into audio? Are you trying to take their money? Because I'll tell you this, as a woman, I don't like to give my money to people that think that I'm an idiot. That's just the way of the world now, is that we're not idiots. I think the other thing is that they didn't ever once, and I watched this a lot. I was telling you before we started, I watched this at least 67 times this afternoon. Nowhere in the video did they actually talk about the things that matter in audio, the things that matter in music, the things that matter when you share a film experience with somebody, which is how it makes you feel, the funny parts. Oh, I could hear that cool chorus background line in the chorus of that song that we love so much. These are things that people talk about at all ages and all stages of life. And in fact, I'm going to reference Taylor Swift again. One of the biggest things that draw people to her is her relatability and her ability to give others a platform to speak and express themselves freely. And in these JBL ads, whatever they are, these video pieces, nowhere in there did you see the women ever expressing how they felt about the audio. They would sit and talk in the vocal fry and be all like, hey, chill, like whatevs, cool, okay. And then they would immediately go into, so a 2.1 system is this, and a 5.1 system is this, and a 7.1 system is this. And I sort of went, okay, but do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Is it something you can relate to with your friends? Is it a good investment because you can have your friends over? What is the purpose of this? Why should I give you my money?
Not only that, but the entire video, they're on their phones. So what that tells me is they're not even interested in their own product they're trying to sell you.
Right. Yeah, that was something that was concerning when the girl says, yeah, we're going to like put on a movie and then stare at our phones or whatever. And I thought, okay, so JBL makes systems for background music. Is that
it's a background system
to portray? If and there's one part that really got my dander up personally, which was when she says, oh yeah, and this connects to a Bluetooth turntable, and if you really want show something.
Wait. Let me show the ad. And then you comment. Let me show the ad.
And they can all connect to a Bluetooth record player. Plus, the top of the line connects to a wired turntable if you really want to pretend to be into vinyl.
Which we do.
So are you pretending like Emeka? Are you pretending that you're really into vinyl?
Oh my God. I just think that vinyl is so important in life, and it's just really an important art form. And so I have 2 record playery things that play the music on there. And they're
circles.
Yeah, they're like super cool. And I watch them and sometimes I get dizzy because I'm
So here's something that I would tell JBL if they're listening. and I'm sure you have your own opinions. If you want to make a trendy ad that targets young people, there's a way to do it and also drop knowledge. I don't know if you guys have seen the Facebook ads for these little pop socket things on the phone. They have one that's way more clever, right? It could turn your phone sideways. It's really strong. They have this gorgeous woman advertising this thing, and at the same time she's giving you the math behind it. She's showing the calculus. She's talking about the pull force on it. So she does it in a clever way. She throws the thing around, but she's dropping knowledge, and it's an engaging ad, and it makes me want to buy the product. When I saw this JBL ad, I was thinking to myself, I don't even want any of my reviewers to cover this series of product just because what it represents. It seems to me like a slap in the face for the brand heritage. That's how I took it, because I've loved JBL for decades. I always had JBL speakers in college and in high school, and even up until the last few years or so. I just love the brand. So I hate to see this happening to JBL. I hate to see brands get liquidated and watered and dumbed down.
Yeah, I think the other thing, I come from the pro audio side as well. So for me, there's the aspect that JBL has a pro line, and there are a tremendous number of women that use JBL and use it in their own productions, in productions for other people. They use it in music education and production education, sound design education. And so how does this send a message to women on the pro audio side too, who are inevitably going to find JBL products to listen to in the home space? Number one, and number two, is this? I'm so I really am confused, and I would welcome the opportunity to speak with somebody, a decision maker at Harman, about this, because there's a disconnect. Because I follow JBL, I went on their YouTube channel, I went on their TikTok and their Instagram, because I thought, well, hold on a minute, maybe if this is part of a larger thing, I missed something and this is playing into something else. Well, it's not. They have all of these other product videos and advertisements where they have young people, right, Gen Z and millennial, and they're being silly and stupid and fun and all sorts of anything. But here's the difference: they're being authentic. This was a very inauthentic production. And that really got to me, because part of what I thought JBL's messaging was, and when I saw the big exhibit that they did at CES, I loved the fact that they were reaching out to influencers, and they had real people using JBL in real life, talking about real life lived experiences. And this series of videos has just completely undone all of that. And it's given them a really bizarre name in their reputation. And that, is this what they think of women? Seriously, is this what they think of us? Because I said, and the first thing that came to mind when I was very mad, and Bertha will tell you, I was yelling at the top of my lungs earlier this afternoon. And I said, do they want JBL to stand for Just Bimbos Listen? Is that
new marketing slogan?
No, but I mean, seriously, like, is that what they're going for? Because that's what this, as a woman, this is, and I'm not an old woman either. Like, this is what I took away from it. And it's a disservice to come at young women of any age, but really young women and young men too, young people in general. It's a disservice to come at them to assume that the default position is idiocy. Yeah. I'm not saying overcomplicate it, but I'm saying speak with them. Don't speak at them. Don't talk down to them.
And not only that, I mean, in this ad, again, they could have put some good tech facts. There was a lot of good tech stuff in these products, like the waveguide on the tweeter. You could have had one of the women just spout off what the purpose of the thing is in a funny way, and it would have worked. Yeah. Or the JBL receiver that sets itself up and it has EQ to make everything sound good. Look, these are interesting products. There's good technology in them. We're not bashing the products or the brand, and I'm not bashing the women in the commercial. They're paid actors. They're paid to lousy script.
Right.
Physicists, for all I know. I have no idea what their education level is.
Well, I think the other thing is there was a missed opportunity, right? I also work in the film space as a director and producer. And one of the things that I immediately saw in this was the idea that the three of them, right, two are on the couch, one is on a chair. And at any point, there could have been the opportunity for meaningful dialogue, where even with the vocal fry, even with their new lingo and all of that stuff, right? Whatever everybody's using now, they could have one could have gone over to the other, grabbed some crappy headphones out of their ears, and girl, you need to turn this on my JBL system. You need to hear. You don't know what real sound is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
There was a missed opportunity to have a meaningful conversation that young women actually do share lived experiences of, oh my God, you got to check this out. This is so exciting. I want you to share in this with me.
Mhm.
That's a real thing. And they completely missed it. Completely missed it.
Well, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I think we got our points across. The video ad was pretty jarring. I stand by my initial reaction to it, and I hope that this evokes change, because we want to bring more women into audio. We want to bring more young people into audio, but we also want them to appreciate how great it is, and it's not just sitting there in the background while you're texting on a phone. You're sitting down and you're concentrating and enjoying the experience, whether it's listening to music or watching a movie. You want your mind to just unwind, not think about anything else in the room, and focus on that. There's nothing better than that when you're really in that space. That's just my view.
100% agreed. And I would also go so far as to say, when I watch, because a lot of my life is lived on social media, and I watch a lot of videos that content creators produce, and unless they really are airheads, or unless that's a persona that they're putting on, none of them talk like that. I'm not saying that they all speak like me or you, but none of them actually believe and live that way, number one. And number two is, you don't get people making videos like this about art, about hiking, about food, things that should be appreciated. Gen Z and younger folks do have an appreciation for it. They actually have a hunger for it. They want it. And so to have it presented to them in this way is really offensive, I think. And I just hope
and not only that, it's not like they were promoting a boombox or a $50, $60 Bluetooth speaker, right? This is when you add up the system cost with a receiver and 5 speakers and a sub, you're probably at a $3,000-$4,000 and up. So this is a pretty, it's affordable product for what it does, but it's a pretty big ask for a young person to just go out and make a purchase on a whim.
It is. And nowhere in these videos did I see what value I'm getting for my money. What I saw was, here are the cool things that it does. It hooks up to these things. Well, yes, but if I'm a person who is going to invest $3,000 or $4,000 into even a simple system, I will have done my research before. And if you think I haven't, then you think I'm an idiot. Again, we go back to that same place of they're not giving someone the benefit of the doubt. And the other thing I just want to say, like, I was reading your comments on your Facebook page, and I wrote to, I either wrote to you or I wrote to your wife, and I said, are you and I the only 2 women weighing in on this? And she said, yep. And I just want to say this for whatever it's worth. I know we want to keep this short, but as a woman in pro audio, as a woman in hi-fi, as a woman who owns an audio show, America's longest running audio show, as a matter of fact, I've seen trends come and go. I've seen things change. I've seen things grow for the better and for the worse. We're making good progress, but there's still not enough women and young people in audio in this space, whether they're audiophiles or just music lovers casually or whatever they may be. I don't know that this messaging that JBL put out is going to enhance our efforts. I feel like it's put us back a little bit, and now we have to go and almost apologize for it. And that's very disheartening for me, because, as you know, for many years, I've been working in this space to just get us to a place where women are considered to be equal and not as a default on the back foot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a little concern.
Well, Emiko, I really appreciate you coming here to bring a woman's perspective to this ad. So it's not just me saying it's a bad ad because it's only has women in it. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the thumb up, hit subscribe. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get access to me if you want to suggest video topics. And check out Emiko's page at that HiFi girl. You're on Instagram. Are you on YouTube? You have a YouTube channel too,
I have
right?
a YouTube channel, but that's under Emiko Music, right? Everything,
Okay.
all my music stuff is there.
I'll put that in there, and you have a little furry friend over there too.
Yeah, this is Diana. She was also offended by the whole thing. She's a woman in audio and was like, what the heck?
All right. Well, that is a wrap. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.
Thanks, Gene.